on that one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I wrote that first sentence of I am a healer because I kept hearing and remembering you saying that when we were talking at the at our glimpses of dawn at the first one
Right.
I went to. And so
Right.
as you were saying it, I'm like, yeah. And it didn't hit like I'm a healer. It was more of a like yes. And so since then, up until when you said I need to write a bio, which was its own thing of like a bio, what do I put? I ain't done nothing. I'm still trying to learn. And that was the first clarity that came out. I am a healer. Okay, cool. And memories of that started to coming up from like childhood, rubbing my grandma's feet and her being like, "Man, your hands are." And
Right.
so those things from jump were there, and the bio started to kind of write in itself and just expanding to having leadership, having people in the community like Rev Jeff, who I'm like, man, can you read this? Does it sound good? And he gave some amazing pointers and just gave it that flow. I feel like the connectivity to give it flow is a great word. So
100%.
that the bio is its own little ecosystem in my mind, and then the organization of the days of the entry points of the ways of knowing and were are their own thing because that was coming through meditation and I'm writing and I'm like I think I'm hearing hard and still sitting with it.
I'm getting there. I'm not there.
Yeah, and so the
I hear
document
you.
pulling those distances together and saying this is why that came through in that way again that's when it's like oh that spirit telling me
Mm.
yes I gave you that yes this is there and yes it is you all of that is
All
okay
of you. All
yeah
of it. All of
yeah
you. And I think for me, that is the part that I feel like is the grounding part. There's a moment where in the living document, I make it very clear that I, Nomfundo Princess, Umkabayiga Gqugquzela Solidula, am not initiating you. I'm just in
yes
the moment of becoming, as I am also in my own moment of
mm,
becoming. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I
mm,
feel like one of the things that I am realizing as you and I are journeying right now in a very, and I'm going to use a social structure word because I can't find another one in this moment, in a very formalized structure, right? Because
mm,
remember, before this, I would have been preparing for glimpses a week before. You
got
know me, I'm very vulnerable. I don't want to lie here and act me now. A week before, I'm only starting to prepare because glimpses has always been a way of me coming back to myself. It's not a
mm,
place where I go to. I think we had this conversation during glimpses, in one of the
yes
conversations we had afterwards, when I said to you, glimpses started off as um, I used to call it back to center, because it was a need uNomfundo had to come back to
mm,
herself. And in her coming back to herself, the question was, how do you do this in community? Because you are struggling to find in-person community, right?
mm,
So offer this to people, and whoever arrives, arrives, and that will be your community that you build with. And that is beautiful. And I'm excited. I was excited. It was great and everything else. So now, as Glimpses has been kind of evolving and having a co-healer, a co-space holder, it's been so interesting to watch Spirit because there are moments where I just watch Spirit. I go into my
mm,
moments of just stepping back and saying, I'm just going to stand here and watch what's happening in this world between
mm,
uNomfundo and
yes
NK, and just stand beside. I'm
yes
like, what are y'all doing? Let me just watch you. What are you doing? Because there's a
oh
lot
man
happening there. And just kind of realizing that it's all a complexity of becoming. We
mm,
think that becoming is linear, but not, I don't even think we do think becoming is linear. Let me rephrase that. We have sometimes in our worlds, we have a very linear way of looking at things. And then
Yes.
we forget that spirit is very complex and it's not linear, it's very up and down. And experiencing this glimpses with you is such a becoming moment for me. Like
Mm,
such a learning ground for me.
mm,
Preparing for it in the way that I'm preparing for it this time, as
mm,
somebody who's going to be holding the circle, because I start in the beginning and the end, and then holding the person who's holding it from Monday to the Friday. It's a different
mm.
experience.
Yes.
It's uh
Yes.
it's scary.
Mm,
I don't want to lie. It's
mm.
scary because I'm no longer just holding myself. Because when I
Yeah.
go into glimpses, normally I'm just holding myself and I'm just doing my thing. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I just show up and I do my thing. And this might sound arrogant. I'm like, I'm good at doing my thing. You know what I'm trying to say? No,
Yeah.
adding a
Uh-huh.
layer of I'm doing my thing with someone else, but with someone else while also holding them in their becoming. What?
Yeah.
You guys are
Yeah.
trusting me with this man? How? Who am I to be trusted with this man? You know, who am I
Yeah.
with being trusted with this moment of this
Yeah.
man? You
Yeah.
know, but the answer is so simple. I'm not being trusted with Tyrell. I'm being trusted with uNomfundo.
Yeah. Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first thing that came up when you were saying that. I'm like, no,
You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not being
you
trusted with
trust it to
you.
yourself.
I'm being trusted
Absolutely.
with myself.
Yep.
You
And
know,
that is
the
what is
vessel is
attracting
being,
me. Yeah.
yes, the
Yep.
vessel is being held. It's being carried, and that's all it
Yep.
is. So
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yes, I connect with that in the layer of what you're saying and the deeper layer of experiencing that with you, right?
Okay.
There's the more anchored that you have been in your being,
Mm.
the more it has anchored me in my being. And so
Oh.
Rev often says, you know, we're here to be a light, but not just simply a light for the sake of being
Mm-mm.
the opposite of darkness or any of that, but a light that is the reminder of others and for others to be a light as well. And so when
Right.
we're really operating in and really centering spirit,
Truth.
that thing that we like, even that's the way you kind of coined it under a possibility of sounding arrogance, and which all of that terminology comes from this kind of this
Ego.
Western injection of like ego and and
Mm.
this is what
Ah.
ego can do. And so all of those things become just shrinking of what is happening when you really do go within
You're
and you
right.
really do center self. It
Uh-huh.
is never selfish. It is
No.
never a space of like I'm
No.
arrogant. Yeah, I'm on my stuff. I'm doing me. That is the goal. Everybody is actually supposed to feel like that. And the way you know you're doing it is if it attracts others. If you're
Yeah.
doing that and it makes others feel like, and now all of a sudden you don't have community, that's
Mm.
arrogance. But if you're
Mm.
doing that and tapping into your truest self, and there's people coming around you that is
Mm.
also their unique self, but they are
Mm.
deeply connected to who you are and what you're
Mm.
bringing, that is how you know you're actually utilizing that self-image, that self connection for
Mm.
spirit, which is
Right.
universal. And so
Right.
that's how all of this energy, I will say,
Mm-hmm.
of even just the build up to this particular glimpses has felt.
Right.
It's been reaffirming. It's been, a confidence booster in the way of peeling back those layers of, oh man, I don't want to sound like I know everything. Oh man, I don't want to be, oh, I'm Tyrell, the spiritual guru. I don't want to. It's like, all of that is noise that I can sit to the side because here I have this literal living document showing me what I'm bringing to the table that I
A
can't
hundred
find in a
percent.
book. I can't find it in a video. I can't find why? Because there is no other Tyrell
Mm-mm.
Lamont Lindsley. Not
Mm-mm.
because he's special, but because
Mm-mm.
he is special. It is the,
Because he is special.
yes, every finger has a
Every single one.
unique role, but that middle part is not where we're forgetting. We're coming from here to
Right.
there, not the
Yes.
other way around.
It's
And
not
that is
singular.
how we do it. Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that so much because it's that idea of knowing that your community will come to you, whether you like it or not.
That's
Because I
fire.
feel like a lot of the
Yeah.
times we are also repellent to our community
Hmm.
because there are parts of
Mm.
ourselves that we are rejecting. We are
Ooh.
always rejecting parts of ourselves, right?
Ooh. Yep.
Did I
Yep.
touch you there? Did I touch
Yeah.
you in your
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
soft bits right there in your
We're
soft bits?
back.
Did
We're
I touch
back.
you in your soft
I'm
bits?
here. I'm back now. Just for that was one of them quick bodies. Like the spirit
So
left and came right back. It's like yeah, yeah.
you know,
Gotcha.
so when you find your people, it is such an exhilarating and affirming and validating experience. At the same
Mm,
time, because we have been westernized so much, there are so many parts of ourselves, excuse me, that actually kind of stay in the ego. This is
mm,
scary. I've said it already today,
yes,
This is scary. This is
yes,
that. Meanwhile,
yes.
it is the becoming. And I feel like that's one thing out of our conversations this week that I just want to carry on holding. It is the
Mm,
becoming. It is. I remember even when it was delivered, I was like, remember was it yesterday it was delivered, or it was the day before when that specific sentiment was delivered in our conversation that
mm,
we are in a becoming. We are in the becoming, and the becoming is complex. And naming it as ego and naming it and all of these things is taking away from the experience. Just holding it as the becoming, all the parts, whether they feel negative or they feel positive, right? As long as they are in okambeni, as long as they are
mm.
esqalweni, right? In the beginning,
Oh,
as long as they are encompassed in the encompassed, what? As long as they are in there, the word
yeah.
becoming, you allow yourself to proceed. Everything else shouldn't
Wow.
matter, right?
Yes.
Because you've been saying it to me this whole week, right? Every single time we have a conversation, you remind me that, hey, stay in the light.
Mm,
In different ways, you've been doing that,
mm,
not kind of looking at me as the answer, but saying, we're co-creating here, my guy. We're here together, my guy.
mm.
We're
Mm-hmm,
doing this
mm-hmm,
together, my guy.
mm-hmm,
We're
mm-hmm.
here.
Yeah.
We are channeling this together. All right. People are in the waiting room. So
Hey,
as
okay.
we start, okay, we're going to allow a couple of people to come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to introduce myself to them, and I'm going to introduce you to them, and then we're going to kind of let maybe a couple more people come in, and then we are not going to let them introduce themselves now. We'll ask
Okay.
them to introduce themselves at the end because we also want to make sure that we are able to cut certain things if people decide that they don't want to be on, they don't want.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool,
So
cool.
you know what I mean? Consent is a big thing. You know how I am.
I love that.
You
Yeah,
know how I
that's
am.
ooh,
You know
that's a good
this. You
one.
know this.
Yes,
So
yes.
there are two people in the waiting room right now.
Okay, I'm gonna grab some
Um,
water.
that's perfectly fine. I'm also gonna go refill my cup and then we're gonna bring them in. Refill my cup, refill my cup.
The babies.
On something that's tenemos la mancha. Hey, cup has been refilled. Ukamba.
Good.
Ukamba has been refilled. We have three
Wakam.
people in the waiting room. So I will hold the space, and I think you and I are really good at bouncing off each other.
Man,
Okay.
yeah.
Are we
Okay.
ready? All
Yes.
right. Admit all. Okay. Sanibonani, Sanibonani, Sanibonani. Welcome today. We are going to be just letting people in, and once our co-host is here, I'll be able to concentrate better. Um, Actually, Mandy, can I please make you co-host for a bit so you are able to let people in for me? Can you give me a thumbs up if that's okay with you? Mashos, can you give me a thumbs up for me to make
I
you
am
a...
driving, so I cannot.
Okay, no problem. Tulsile, can I make you co-host just for a bit until Kanyisa comes in?
No problem. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Coco.
I'm
Hello,
having
hello.
crazy connection issues, but it seems like it's sorted.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, Tyrell, I'll make you co-host. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make you co-host, and then when Kanyisa comes in, who's our co-host, then we will well, when I say co-host, she's one of our team members, so she'll be able to. Okay. Molweni, molweni, molweni bo.
Hi,
Ninjani bo.
Siapila.
Siyaphila nathi. I'm trying to figure out what did I do wrong, Lana? Nto zabelungu bafowethu. Hmm, okay. So I'm gonna pin myself and Tyrell, and then Tilsila, can I ask you to unpin yourself because you are showing up as on the speaker side on my side.
How do I do that?
I'm not sure.
Wait, it says it's giving me an option to add pin.
No, don't add in.
Mm-mm.
Um, okay. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Once Kanyisa gets here, things will be fine. I know that for a fact. Uh, when Kanyisa gets here, you know, when Kanyisa gets here, things will be. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room till still, and then I'm gonna ask you to come back, okay? Maybe that will
Cool.
help. Yep, seems like it's helping. Now how do I bring it back? Good evening, Maki. Good evening, Lindelwa. Good evening, Mandy. Um, oh, there you go. Tulsila's come
Is it
back.
better?
Hey, it's working perfectly now.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, you're back. Hi, Bosisi. It's fine. We're here. It's okay. You you are the co-holder for September. So maybe the universe is saying, let everybody be seen.
I
Maybe the
love it.
universe is saying, let everybody be in the space and be seen. Okay. We're gonna start very soon. Actually, we do have a team member here. So Tulsi, I'm gonna make him Bilinge. I'm gonna make you co-host because there is a team member. It'll be easier if he is co-host. Perfect. Sanmonan, ninjani. Mina ngiyaphila.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. So I'm going to be bouncing between English and Zulu. Terrell knows this by now that, hey, this is how we
Yes.
go. This is how we roll,
All good.
When we're speaking, there's a bouncing between English and Zulu. And
Yes.
that's how we're going to be going through. So, how we're going to start off is that myself and Tyrell are going to have a conversation. And then towards the end of our conversation, we're going to be bringing in the questions. But in the meantime, I'm going to ask if you guys have questions to put them in the chat. And I'm going to ask, I know I did not ask you in advance, Bilinge. Kangisa's not here right now. So I'm going to ask you for now to be our host, Unglegelele. So if anybody has questions in the chat. Oh, here comes Kanyisa. Hey,
I
Billy,
have,
your ancestors have you. Your ancestors have
yes,
you well.
I just admitted Kanisa also.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate that. Okay, perfect. Hi, Miss Kanyisa. How are you doing? I was just telling everybody that they can start doing questions in the chat, and you are here just to consolidate them for us. But what we're going to start with is a conversation. And then towards the end of the conversation, we're going to go around the group, right? Introduce ourselves. Who are you? Who do you walk with, right? And then take it from there. Okay. Please utilize the chat and also the features just to let us know that you guys are here with us. Ushone Bukanyisa. All right.
Nangu Khanyisa.
Oh, nangu Kanyisa. Okay. Ngizoqala ngithi, if there is a candle in your room and if you can, let's light a candle together, right? If there's a candle in your room, if we can just light a candle together. Sorry, Tyrell, we've been on the call for a long time and I didn't ask you for a candle, right?
It's
Let's
all
light a
right.
candle together. This is just a way of making sure that we are all coming into community together and we are in the space together.
Ashe.
Abaphethe ukhamba, ungaphuza ukhamba lakho sihleli ndawonye. Noma ukhamba luyi-sparkling wine, it
Thina
doesn't matter as
esingekho
long as
ekhaya
kuwukhamba.
senzani?
Angazi. Oh,
Thina
abasendleleni,
esingekho ekhaya senzani?
abasendleleni.
Yeah,
Bengingabiza nje abantu bakini, njengoba nikhona, nibaxoxele,
yeah.
nisendleleni siyaxoxa la, sixoxa sibaningi. You know, we're in a
Okay.
journey together. So if you are in transit right now, if you are able to just vocally kind of come into community with us, express yourself that you are here with us, whether you're doing it with the speaker or the Haibo English, whether usho sizwa, noma usho singezwa, it's perfectly fine. I did say that my English and Zulu today are struggling and it's okay. So you can either say it here out loud with us and just kind of tell us that you are together, right? Or you can just say it laukona. That's perfectly fine, right? There is
Thokoza.
going to be a time whereabouts we are going to be coming into community together. But this moment, I'd like to hold it between myself and Tyrell. But before we start, I'd like for you guys, either in the chat or vocally, we are recording the session and it will be going on YouTube after we are done. So other people who are not able to make it are able to receive the information. So if you're uncomfortable about that, please let us know. And then we'll ask you if you're able then to utilize the chat to ask questions, right? Or if you are not comfortable, then you can switch off your camera. We want to be able to hold you in as beautifully as possible, understanding that our spaces are filled with anonymity. We want to be able to know that people feel comfortable with their voices and their faces and their auras, because auras are also really important. We think it's just our voices and our pictures. It's also our aura. If you don't want that to be out there, please switch off your camera. And if you've got questions, then rather use the chat. But we just want to have a consensus of the people who are on camera are happy with us utilizing on YouTube, and the people who are in the chat are okay with us also utilizing on YouTube. So can I get some thumbs up? And then the people who are in the chat, can I just get a thumbs up if you guys are okay and consenting for us to be able to utilize this on YouTube? Billy, Lindelwa, Um, Tulsile, we just need to have consensus. That's all. Mandy, right? Kanyisa, I didn't see a thumbs up. Do we have consent? Tulsile, perfect. Okay, we have consensus.
I'm
Siyabonga.
giving consensus. My thumb is not working.
Okay, thank you very much. We just, guys, it's very important for us. You will see also when we are in the collective of the 7 days, we really, really pride ourselves in the idea of knowing that our voices and who we are out there and we have consented to it.
Mm,
Okay. And even when we start the 7 days, we will be asking you guys, are you comfortable? Sometimes you can say in the beginning you are comfortable, and we want you to know that. In the beginning, you can say you are comfortable. By the end, because parts of spirit has spoken to you, you're like, I don't want that online, you know? And then we will literally honor that. Your voice in the space is so important. Your consent in the space is so important. So we want you guys, as we carry on in this journey, to know that you can always opt out of consent. Okay. All right. Okay. So sesiqalile-ke lapho-ke. Ngizoqala ngithi igama lami mina nguNomfundo wakwaZama, umkabayi kaGcugcuzela uSoludula, ingane kaMachili nobabGweja nkosi yami. Balengutsheni ngihamba nedlozi lasekhaya, oma nakababa, abakoChili nabakanzama nabakoGumede nabakongcobo. Sizohlala namhlanje sizoxoxa nobrother Tyrell. Tyrell, I just
peace.
introduced myself. Do you want to introduce yourself, brother? Tell them who you are, who you work with, where you from, and how
Mm.
did you land in the space?
Peace, peace. Peace and love to everyone. That's probably one of my favorite ways of saying hello, as you will see and experience as we walk through these glimpses at dawn together. I am, I walk with my ancestors. I walk with my wife of 21 years now and two daughters who all are always with me. They're literally on my chest right now in this shirt that I'm wearing. Um, and so, yes, I walk with these beautiful divine energies that continue to anchor me in
Mm,
my knowing and my being. And I definitely am connected to this space. This space found me. I'm just thankful to be there to receive it and be open enough to know when I'm being called, if you will. And so this
mm,
has been a beautiful step outside of my say my normal or my comfort zone. And I use air quotes because it does feel very comfortable being here. It feels very at home being here. Even, hearing different languages doesn't create the sense of difference or unwelcome or any of that that
mm.
sometimes our social environments can make us feel. So I am very thankful to be here. I feel very aligned with this space and heard about it through being online and being connected to a family member of ours. I share, some very good spiritual family members with Sister Numfundo, and so we happen to our algorithms aligned in a way where I was in the space and ready when the last cohort went through, and so very excited to be able to hold space and looking forward to this journey and continuing it with you all.
You say this journey. What does this journey mean to you? This journey. Journey.
Hmm.
What does this journey mean to you?
Hmm. You always have great questions.
Thank you, sir.
This journey,
Thank you.
this journey to me means self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, like discovering yourself when you're always with yourself
Mm,
can sometimes feel confusing, right?
mm,
So that's part of what this journey feels like for me is a quieting of the confusion, a
mm-hmm.
um, process to gaining more clarity on
Mhm.
who the I is that I speak of. And that's kind of out there, but in a more grounded way of saying it, it helps me trust that the things that I love, the things that I feel connected to, are not just an external journey, an external
Right,
extension of me trying to hold something. It's
right.
more of an internal exploration of who I am. And so these pieces that seem outside of me actually feels more connected to this broader aspect of who I am. And that allows me to go into the world more confident. And that confidence is a light. That light inspires others to be a light as well. So
Mhm.
this journey feels like a way for me to be more in tune with that light inside of me and allow that light to shine at its brightest and not be dirtied up by self-doubt, dirtied up by fear, dirtied up by unknown agitation, if you will, or excitement,
Right,
and
right.
just allow myself to be in the world the way I had always planned on being.
In the way that you've always planned on being.
Hmm.
Tell us more.
I believe that we all come into this world with a clarity that gets muddied up through life, through circumstance, through experience, through family connections. And that mud is important, kind of like the mud that supports the lotus flower, right? It's like it is a very important aspect to our growth, but sometimes it becomes so thick that we begin to think that that is it and that is all that is for us, and we begin to lose sight of that original message and that original sense of knowing.
Mm,
And the more we go through life and the more I've gone through life and started to finding, first off, my wife was a great starting point of that. This person that, I enjoyed having, spending time with and all of these things. And, we enjoyed a lot of things together, especially music and spending time together. Over time, I started learning that what I mostly enjoyed about her was how comfortable I felt about myself, about being who I am around her. And the times where I was outside of who I am, she would call me out on those things, right? So all of a sudden there was this mirror thing happening where I was able to see like, oh man, this blemish is here. You know what I mean? I was able to address those things. And so that is a smaller or say a micro example of how these different connections that we have that I've had in my life has just pulled more and more of that inner self out that and cleared
mm.
more of that mud and that dirt away to allow that light to shine. Yeah.
And in this light shining, we were in community in May together in the autumn glimpses.
Yeah.
How did those 7 days and the reunion kind of allow you to see or feel or weave into that light?
The beauty of the way the glimpses happened is that it was full of unknowns. I
Mm,
didn't know who you were outside of, a couple pictures and whatnot. I
mm,
didn't know what the space was. I
mm,
didn't know what it would require of me. I didn't
mhm,
know if I would like it or not.
mhm,
There was a lot of these unknowns that were present, but they
mhm,
weren't stronger than the pull to go anyway. It's like there's still like,
Okay.
man, let me just try this out though, because I like her hair wrap. I like the little background. Like you had the background and stuff that you were in. And then and also with that, the time frame that it was, because it was 5
Right.
a.m. at dawn,
Mm,
in what we call the mother time. And we'll
mm.
probably expand on that anyway.
Yes, we
And
will.
for me, that would have been like night, PM. And so the time frame to me was I like deep stuff or like little outside of the box connections of like, oh, I'll be tapping into the future because she's ahead of time and I'm gonna be in her past, and that was just so cool to me. And so those kind of interests, again, these inner dings, these inner points that I know.
Curiosities, maybe?
What was that?
Inner curiosities.
Yes, that are just that light flickering through is kind of what it feels like, what the image
Mm,
feels like in my head. And
mm,
so the light got to fluttering the more I leaned into, yes, I'm gonna go into this space. Once I'm in the space, even from the first night, for me, day for you, where we were focusing on consent and just really being clear on, hey, is everyone comfortable with being in the space? And here is, if you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to have your camera on. If you feel comfortable, go for it. If it, and that was the front door, which now I'm saying, okay, this is a space that will take care of my vulnerability. So now I
mm,
know I can be vulnerable here,
mm.
which f- uh, um in a space of discovery is like the greatest gift you can receive from a new space. If you can be vulnerable in that space and actually go in like with the fullest version of yourself as possible,
Mm.
you're on to something. And so I felt those kind of things the first night. The rest of it was basically confirmations of that and other layers in these different ways. And it came through meditation sometimes. Sometimes it
Mm.
came through the process of journaling. And as we love to say in that space, tell it to the trees.
Tell it to
Um,
the trees.
Sometimes it came, of course, with it being at night. I was getting ready for bed. So now I'm going into the dream world with all that swirling through. Wow. Great dreams, which then started to inspiring the next day. Because now the next day, instead of me saying, man, I wonder what's on Instagram, or I wonder if that check went through from the last client, or whatever it was, man, so I wonder what uNomfundo meant when she said, and so the glimpses started to overlapping the time zones and started
Mm,
blending from the night into the day, into the evening, into the workforce and at home, all of these things, which magnified and amplified the momentum for me to continue to go into it and say, this is something that is really needed for me in whatever time that I was in and space I was in mentally at that time. And it was nourishing, like right away. It just continued to nourish those kind of worn down parts, those nerve
right.
endings that were just starting to fray. I just really started feeling a sense of groundedness and comfort from the things that were coming out in the glimpses. Yeah.
And I think for me, I greatly appreciate the fact that there was a moment of knowing that you wanted to be in the space. And then when you were in the space, the journey continued. And the word that you used, and you used it a couple of times, it was nourishing. What about it
Mm,
was nourishing? We've got people here who hoping to join us, who have registered to
yeah.
join. How, so I'm going to ask in two ways. One,
Okay.
what parts for you were nourishing? right? This is one part.
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
other part as our co-holder and our co-space holder, and somebody's going to be really ushering in the 5 days. How do you see yourself also being able to nourish? So it's a two-part question for me.
Hmm. Okay. So one of the ways that Glimpses was nourishing um, immediately is setting. There's a there's a tone set in the space where it is not pulling something out of you. It is
Mm,
not pushing something on you,
mm-hmm,
right? So that already takes out two energies that seem to be very strong in these climate, social structure, social media, and different things of that nature, where you're either being told you got to do something or you're being
mm,
pulled into believing a certain thing. So those two things were like subdued in a way. And there was this emphasis put on the uniqueness that we all bring. And that is nourishing because it's a reminder, much like I just think of, being a baby, you know, the nourishment that I received from my parents was really centered around reminding me that I am okay, that I am important, that I am worthy of speaking, of being heard, of crying, of laughter, whatever it was, right? And that energy was replicated in the glimpses. There was this reminder that it is okay to be, even if
mm,
that being is confusion.
mm,
And that was very nourishing for me.
mm,
How I believe I will nourish others, it's coming from the first part, the experience that I received from my glimpses. It's also from a very intentional lived experience that I believe I share with probably anyone who survived 2020 and the pandemic. Um, there was a deep yearning for me to be nourished in a time where I was being constantly reminded about death and the fear of a pandemic. And it was real. And it was being in the health field at that time, I was in physical therapy. We were literally on the front lines, um, as far as having to basically still go to work. We were considered essential workers. So I remember the feeling at that time and the need to be nourished, nurtured, loved, if you will, at that time. And so that gives me I think a deeper rooted connectedness to what that feels like, and then how
mm-hmm.
it feels when I can feel that in. Some of the tools I like to use from practice. And you'll see my a lot of all of my modalities are inside out. In other words, it's stuff that I not only have tried that I do that works for me, not to say, be like me. It is just here's some food. Oh, you don't like
Here's what I have.
tomatoes? Don't take it. Try this. This
Mm-hmm,
has no tomatoes in it. This is how what I offer. And so with that, some of it is meditation, some of it is breath work, some of it is movement. Um, and those entry points to nourishment is what I offer. And I believe that more than not, many of us are looking for those things. And even if we are already doing some of those things, it never hurts to be reminded of how powerful those things are, which
Mm.
is something that I experienced as well in glimpses. I hope that
Right.
answered the
It
question.
does. It
Okay.
does because it kind of allows me personally, as somebody who held the last glimpses, to
Hmm.
have an understanding of how you were held and also understand how you are hoping to hold these amazing dreamers that we are walking with right now, these amazing dawners that we are walking with right now. I think
Mm,
one of the most important thing is that, if I can add to what you just said, is that it is important that every single person who comes into this space understands that they are what the space needs and requires for it to be as nourishing as it needs to be. You know, there is a
yes.
constant energy exchange that is happening within the space itself. You know,
Mhm.
as much as Tyrell will be showing up and holding the space, there is a co-creation that is happening ongoing between the participants or the people who are in the circle and
Mm,
himself and myself, you know. So
mhm.
I think hearing what you were saying about nourishment and how you were nourished, I think it's a big reminder that, or something that I want to impart into the circle right now, that there is such a co-creative space, you know. We come with the modalities and we use the word modality, even though it's a social construct word that we are trying to deconstruct within the space, right? We come with different
Mhm.
modalities, and these modalities sometimes are things that you know and you're doing on a daily basis. Some of them you
Right.
don't even know, you know, and you're
Yeah.
starting to learn them. And one of the biggest things that I think we have been trying to land on, or we've landed on the most this week, is that this is a space of becoming for
Mm,
you, for us, you know, for the collective, for
yes.
ecology as a whole. So I think you answered me perfectly. I was just adding to what you said right now.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think I want to move into another part. Why now, Tyrell? Why? I know already people have a sense of, I'm going to speak for the collective, a sense of trust that they will be held. But why
Hmm.
now? Why choose to show up with your gift with us and offer it to us right now? Why,
Mm.
why be here with us, you know? I
The
see you might be smiling.
pause, because it is my brain trying to give a clean answer and spirit saying, say what I said.
Hmm. What did Spirit say, Tyrell?
Because the world is on fire. Everything is viewed as or looks as though everything is on fire. And we're in the middle of chaos, and the men are fighting the women, and the sky is fighting the ground. Like everything is,
The
and
sky is falling.
yeah, there is real energy and discourse happening like right now. If it's there, right? Music is fighting each other. It's like NDRE versus it's so
It's complex.
right now is the perfect time, I feel, uh, for clarity. It is the
Mm,
perfect time for nourishment. It is the
mm,
perfect time to be reminded, not that your voice matters because everybody has an opinion and everybody should be able to express. Sure. But today and now shows us that if everybody is just operating from a space of having an opinion and there isn't
right.
a deeper look within, a deeper analysis of what am I aligning with and why and all of those things, then your opinion is fuel to the fire
Mm,
rather than the light that we've been speaking about, which is a fire retardant.
Mm,
the more clear we are about our purpose and what it is we're here to do, the more
mm-hmm,
clarity we bring into the world. The more
mm,
clarity we bring into the world, the more clarity happens around us. And then we start to building the thing that's missing from the crumbling infrastructure that's been around for however
right.
long. And so there is, I feel I am a microcosm of what is happening around the world. Glimpses is a perfect example of that because I'm in one aspect of the world in the United States, and here is something on the quote unquote other side of the world in the motherland that is picking up the same thing that I was just saying. This
Yeah.
entire space is like we're bringing fire into it. For those that like just kind of joining us, we light a candle to represent a connectedness. So all of a sudden, this fire that seems to be burning everything, we're utilizing it to represent our inner connectedness and our
Mm,
inner conversation.
mm,
Again, those type of things are the opposite of what's happening in the world that we're moving and operating in.
right.
And how do I know that these things work? Because they're working in my life. I'm
Mm,
literally looking online and seeing the things that are really happening
mhm.
that are opposite of what's happening inside of me. I am not
Right.
being killed inside, right? I am not being closed off and blocked from being my full self. I was just giving an example of something, the glimpses of dawn outside of me, opening up this light inside of me from thousands
Right.
of miles
Yeah.
away, from across the
Right.
ocean. And so to me, that reminds me of the ultra power that happens when we tap into what's in this space and we tap into our inner love, our inner connectedness that really
Mm,
gives us the ability to go beyond the circumstance that we seem trapped by in our day-to-day lives. Even if it's in the workplace or in our homes, all of those things become like ant size where we can
mm,
decide like, okay, do we still want to navigate with this or do we want to put this over
mm,
here and leave that and
mm.
explore this other thing? And when we start thinking like that and opening up possibility, all of a sudden, that fire starts having less and less and less to burn. That's my goal anyway.
No, no, it's such a beautiful thing because I think for me, the reason why I asked that is because it's also opening up to the next part of what we're going to be opening up to the circle right now that why now for you to actually show up in the space, you know? I know that the last glimpses when we had our reunion, there was a call for the people who were in the room to say, hey, this is a moment for you to actually show up in the way that you have been shown up for, right? And
Mhm.
now we have people in the room right now who are saying, we want to be part of this thing that is interesting and it is what it is. Some of them it's because they love me because I know that there are people who are my people here, you know, my people, my people. And then there are people who are here because they also know that there is a journey of actually of self-discovery. There's a
Mhm.
journey of understanding who I am as a person and who I want to be in this world and how I want to show up. All these lessons that I've learned throughout my whole life, where do they come to? So
Mm.
for me, I'm gonna asking myself the same question, like why now? Why now? Why want to show up like this? Right? So
Mhm.
this is a question I'm gonna be going around the whole circle that we have right now. We're gonna be bringing you guys into the conversation. For me, why now? Because I believe that for me to be able to survive this world, the only answer is living in my authenticity and in my
Mm.
purpose. There is nothing that matters now than being able to speak my truth from a place of understanding that spirit is a guide and I'm just a vessel. Whenever I speak, I say igama lam uNomfundo wakwaZama, which is the vessel. Umkabayi kaGcuca, which is spirit. The Zulu Soul Dula, which is the integration of both, right? Understanding that I am in this moment right now to show up as best as I can for spirit and the vessel, which is in the social constructs, struggling with the world that is burning outside, and spirit that says, I know and understand all, but sometimes I get to forget because the vessel I'm housed in, you know? So for me, it's a moment of understanding that I want to show up in this world in the most authentic way possible, while knowing that I'm in my own moment of becoming, right? So with that said, we're gonna go back to our collective conversation with Tyrell, but I'd love to go around the circle right now. And as we're going around the circle right now, I invite you to say your name, where you're from, and when we say where you're from, location wise, and then who do you walk with? When we say who do you walk with, we are speaking uhamba nobani. Esintwini ubani wena? Uyabona uqhamuka ubunendawo. Bakhosi, and who do you walk with? And then if you are open to answering the question of one, what calls you to glimpses? And then if you have a question for Tyrell and myself, you can ask the question. We'll write down the question and then we'll answer at the end, right? But I'm gonna go around, okay? There was a level of consent that was asked in the beginning. In this moment, I'm asking if I can use the same consent to just go around the circle and just say in Zulu, we say in growing up, we used to say piki piki mapelani. So I'm gonna go piki piki mapelani around and just say sbanbani. Ubani, where are you in this moment? And who do you walk with? And what brings you to this moment of glimpses and wanting to join us? And then if you have a question, and I'm gonna ask Kainisa to go first because Kainisa, can I please also ask you to be able to gather the questions for us? And then from Kainisa, ngizobe sengiqhubeka kona wonke umuntu-ke. Ukhanya kwe-Afrika.
Molweni.
Molo mhlobo wami.
Gama lami nguKhanyisa, Mandla Kayise
Amagu.
boy. The people's timing is terrible, honestly. Just a second.
We
Sorry,
can hear you
guys.
perfectly.
You sound good.
Okay. Gama lami nguKhanyisa, Mandla Kayise boy. Ndihamba nabathembu. Omvelase, abathembu
Hey!
ababhuzubhuzu.
Hayi
Ndihamba
bo.
noSheshongwane, uDumo noVumala.
Basho.
Omakhangela. Hamba ngombengo.
Makhosi.
I am in Johannesburg, South Africa. What brings me to this space is I have been called to be Novundo's life companion, Novundo's work
Hey, wife.
companion, and also someone who journeys with her in the work that she does, in the community that she builds, which I am deeply part of. And also for us to weave those rings of connection with other communities, so that the work that she does comes into fruition. So I am perfectly formed to be part of this night and this community and this work, and I'm very happy to be trusted with it.
Can I add that you are the next co-host, Amila, for
Jesus. Peace,
for the next
Yona.
one?
You have everything, but when it comes to peace, my sister,
None
sister, where is peace?
whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
Tyrell, you laugh like this. Tyrell, you laugh like this. You laugh like this, Tyrell.
You are
Yes.
next.
Like this.
Do you have any
Yes.
questions for Tyrell? I know you guys have had your own personal conversations, but do you have any questions right now or a question for him or for myself about the next cycle?
I don't have a question. I think I have a curiosity.
Okay.
and not necessarily, is it a curiosity about the next cycle?
Uh-huh.
I think I have a curiosity about the previous cycle and possibly my experience with us having a shared space, just his understanding of Tyrell. Let me speak to you directed and not speak through a medium. He
In the
asked
eyes.
question.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think my question is your awareness around masculinity and its functions, and then in the space that we shared together, and because you were overtly the masculine energy, and
Mhm.
what that was like for you, um, because also there was a lot of vulnerability and a lot of space holding, a lot of sharing in that one.
Mhm.
So just your experience in your masculine in that space at that time.
Mm.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Great entry
We're gonna
point.
hold the answers for the end. Is that okay, Tyrell?
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's
Yes, we're
right.
gonna hold
Yes.
all the questions
Got
because
it.
we want to be able
Thank
to
you.
have everybody in the room show up.
Yes.
And then we are able to answer them. Even if people drop off at 8 o'clock, we're still able
Okay.
to, but we want to be able to hold everybody in the moment right now.
Hmm.
So Kanyisa's gonna write down her own question. Thank you, Kanyisa boy. Okay. And then I'm gonna go to Umasho's Mandy. Ubani, ukuphi, where are you? And who do you walk with? And what brings you to the space? And if you have a question for us.
How did I know you'd come to me?
Because you are in there.
So, as I was driving here, I was in and out of network connection. So, there's parts that I missed. But either way, there's a question I'd like to
First,
ask,
come into
which passed the
please
Nomfundo.
come
So, I'd
into
like.
community with us
Can you hear
first.
me?
Yes, please come into community with
Yes.
us
No, I'm
first.
not going to ask the question, but
Okay?
I'm just going into that. No, I'm not asking yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going into that. So,
Okay, perfect.
my name is Umendi Shozi. My father is Ushozi Gabisa Umganga,
Hey,
and my mom is Umamlota or
Hmm.
Stiba Umgilija Nguboyengwe.
Makosi.
And that's who I walk with. Um, I came here because Nomfundo invited me to come. She said it would be beneficial for me to join this session, not today, but this month's session. So obviously this comes as part of it. I'm eager as well just to learn as I'm kind of new in the journey. Not new, but new. So there's many things that as well I don't know. I ask Nomfundo a lot, but now that there's a community, it would be nice to get their insights as well. You see now you made me forget my question, Nomfundo.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, so my question to Tyrell was to everyone really, but to Tyrell is how do you know that you've done enough or that you're doing enough in this journey that we are walking with our ancestors, with ourselves?
Mandy, you're breaking up. Do you mind just typing it in the chat for us? Mamganga,
Yeah.
do you mind just typing it for in the chat for us? You're breaking up, Gogo.
I've dealt
Of course.
with that sort of feeling like I'm not doing enough, then you want to give up. But so, how do you feel like you've done enough? Are you doing enough? Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy, for
Okay.
your question. Thank you. Yeah, okay, you heard what I said. Perfect. Thank you for your question. Really appreciate it. From what I understood, how do you know that you're doing enough and you've done enough in your journey? But I still want to ask if she can just write it in the chat so we hear it specifically from her in her words.
Mhm.
And thank you for throwing me under the bus, being like, you asked me to come. Okay, fine. That's also my best friend of close to 30 years. So
Mm.
you will be bullied. I'm kidding. Um, Tashana, Mrs. Lindsley, who are you? Where are you? And who do you walk with? And what brings you here today? And if you have a question for myself and Tyrell.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
You would think
can.
I would have this technology thing down by now, but it's been a while since I've been on a Zoom call, I guess. Hello,
Yes,
everyone. Thank you so
someone.
much for creating this space, for inviting me into this space. Thank you for trusting my husband with this space and this opportunity to just be in community. What an amazing experience. And I am just happy that I am attached to someone who is just doing amazing things and somebody that I look up to and admire. So thank you both for inviting me in. I am Tashana Lindsley. I am, excuse me, here in Georgia. It is really hot out here. We are in Georgia. I walk with my parents, Marcel Lynn, Andrea Locke, my bonus
Oh,
mother, Brenda Lynn, my grandmother, ooh, Rosalie Bible
of course.
Lynn, who has transitioned. I walk with her every single day. She is with me every single day. Um, and I walk with her father, who is my great grandfather, Johnny Bible Sr. My
Okay.
husband, of course, I've known this man over half my life, I feel like my whole life. And our two just beautiful, amazing growing daughters, Taylor and Talia. I am here. I am here not only because, of course, I am married to one of the co-hosts of this next cycle. That's just, logistics, semantics, but because I
Semantics.
still had to decide if it's something that I wanted to do, not just because, I know the person who is going to be leading it and I should be supportive. Yes, that's a thing. Of course, I always want to support my husband, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this may have been for me at this time.
Mm,
So I did sit with it and decided that I am open to receiving more tools for my tool belts. I'm open to receiving more resources to be able to connect with spirit and to be able to utilize the gifts that I feel that I have, and not shying away from them and being open to utilizing them. And I've just been hearing, if not now, then when? I've been hearing,
mm,
you know, uh, once you recognize something in yourself, how dare I not utilize my gifts to help others, to assist others, to support and show up at my full best self? Like, how dare I not take in everything I can take in to be able to be my most best authentic self and show up for others in that same way? So if this opportunity was laid in front of me by way of my husband, that's, beside the point. It's like, now it's time to show up and do the work.
mm,
So just continuing to do the work, continuing to showing up, and continuing to being open to every experience that comes across me, and not just the ones that make me comfortable. Do the ones that make you uncomfortable as well. So I am here to be uncomfortable.
to move and
Mm.
be moved.
And be moved. Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
do you have any questions for us?
I was thinking about um, this experience overall, just touching on um, how interactive will we be in this experience? I know we show up, as best we can, but what do you see, Tyrell, the requirements for us for this space? Like, are we interactive in a way like we need to show up, we need to answer the questions, you need to have your camera on, you need to be fully engaged, or just coming, night to night as you are and, showing up in that way? Or do you have a requirement of like, I believe you all can show up this way?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much thank you for everything that you've shared, actually. It's a big pleasure for me to meet you because I've heard so much about you. So ngiyabonga for that. And thank you for the question. Also just expressing how you're in the moment of being moved right now to being uncomfortable. Thulisile.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I must say, nobody ever calls me Tulisila, by the way. I only hear that when I'm in trouble.
How would you like to be called,
No,
Thulisile?
it's not that. I love it. I literally, no, like people really don't. They just say Tuli and then just call it a day. So it's nice to actually hear my actual full name. You know,
With love.
yeah, because you hardly hear it. Everyone just says Tuli, and yeah, and that's it. But Tulisile is perfect.
If I'm not calling you Thulile.
No, yeah, my name. So yeah, thank you for welcoming me because it's the first time being here, and I'm like truly honored. My name is Tulisile Kapane. Edlozini, which is in spirit. I am unkosazana wamanzi. WakwaDlamini.
Oh,
I also walk with a very masculine man, Inkosi Yamahlathi, Wakankosi. So all of these actually like very dominant spirit that I walk with daily. Are from my maternal side of the family. The paternal are there, but like mostly very maternal and very feminine energy. So yeah, I'm honored to be here. So born and bred in Johannesburg. I'm a Joburg city girl.
city girl.
You're a city girl who doesn't want to live in the city anymore, really.
Come to
But
KZN.
yeah, I must start looking for a place in a very remote area somewhere. I just need some peace. I don't want to wake up and hear cars first thing in the morning. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm very happy to be here. My question, not really that much of questions. Okay, just maybe a question of for Tyrell, like how was your awakening? What did it feel like? Was it painful? Was it hard? Was it like a you want to die and like, you know what, I can die tomorrow? Or was it like a peaceful, nice space for you? Like, how was it for you? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thulisile. And I'm going to add that Thulisile is our end of year co-host, co-healer. So I'm outing all of you guys right now.
Proper.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All of
Now I
you,
understand why
Kaisa's
Kaisa's
next.
like, thank you very
And then
much.
it's you.
uNomfundo.
I'm outing everyone. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for showing up in the space. And then Pilinge, ma Pilinge, Mr. Magomba.
Hello.
Hello. Are we not going to see your face?
You are gonna see my face. There we go. Wait, no, not yet. Yeah. Oh, sorry, this is the yeah, there we
There you go.
Yes, sir. Ungubani, who do you walk with, and where are you, and why are you here? What called you here, and what are your questions?
Right. Hello, everyone. My name is not Billy as it shows up on the screen. It was initially A and D, which is even worse. My name is Bilinge, and I would say I walk with the person I stole the name from,
Mm.
who was my great grandfather, whose name was Bilinge also. I suppose with time everyone becomes mysterious. Um, this man who lived to be 102, and I suppose he got so old one day and he just said, you know, go to this place and get me this leaf and that leaf and that leaf. And they crushed it up for him and he drank it and he slept. And
Mm.
I suppose that's who I walk with today, someone who makes decisions,
Mm.
makes decisions to move, left or right, front or back, but an active decision in control of life, if ever it can be controlled. My question would be, I am in Durban, South
And what
Africa.
brought you here?
What brought me here, I would say, is a decision.
Mm.
The same thing that I suppose makes me spiritually is the thing that brought me here. My question would be for someone who is very elementary to the healing space, what would be almost the one liner to what to expect? If you said, hey, we've got something going on, and said, what is it? What would just be the first thing that comes to your mind to not even promote it, because I think that's a little bit overrated, but
Mm.
to truthfully represent what is to be expected in the experience? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mapilinge. We really appreciate that. And thank you for the decision.
Mm.
Maki. Am I saying that right, Maki? Because all I can hear in my head is Maki, Maki, Maki. That song by. Are you okay? Are you okay, Tyrell?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Hi. We can't hear you. If we carry on battling, do you mind writing in the WhatsApp chat? Who are you? Who do you work with? What has brought you here? And what your question is. All right. And if we can help Ukanyisa, we have the group going. So if you just also don't mind just writing the question that you have in the group, that also would be helpful. Maki, do you want to try again and try and see if your mic is working? Okay. Lindelwa. Coco.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, are we going to see your face?
Hi.
Oh no, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you,
Yeah.
Coco. You don't have to do your face. I'm just it's fine. You can
Oh,
just carry on, Coco.
okay, cool. Hello everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, so my name is Linda. I walk with my ancestors as well as every single version of myself that has
Mm.
been, is currently, and I guess will be. Um, the question of why am I here? I actually wanted to share something that I wrote down in my journal earlier today, which I feel like has been answered now. And I had a
Mm.
little light bulb moment and I was like, what? That is
It's
crazy.
there.
I wrote about this morning.
Mm.
So basically, the line that I wrote down was, I'm currently living in the transition and no one really talks about the space of becoming.
Oh,
Yeah, that is what I wrote down this morning. And then here we are. So yeah, my mind is like, what's happening right now?
Mm.
So um, yeah, I don't really have a question. I'm pretty much I'm just here to learn. I'm here to receive, and yeah, that's about it.
Mm.
thank you for
Yes.
that beautiful, moment that you had. It's such an
Mm.
affirming one. Siyabonga.
Yes.
I think it's quite interesting because before everybody got online, myself and Tyrell had a fat chat. And luckily we did record it before we started. So you guys will be privy to the fat chat that happened before we started talking. And we go into the moments of becoming.
Mm.
So I think how I want to answer that, because we're going to be answering the questions right now. We're going to start off with you because you're the last person, is as the person who is the custodian of the space, it is a light bulb moment also for me in this moment to know and understand that I'm in the moment of becoming, you
Mm.
know? As we carry on co-holding the space along myself and the Tyrell for the next one, and also the next one with the Kanyes and the next one with the Tulsile. It's understanding that these are specific moments of becoming. And how do we feel in them? And how are we held in them? Who are we allowing to hold us as we're going through these processes or these moments of becoming? So I'm grateful for you to share that you were answered, because this is also an answered question for myself. And I'm going to speak for
Mm.
Tyrell too, because for both of us this week, it is so loud that we are in the moment of becoming.
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask if you wanna add to that, Tyrell, for Lindelwa, as we go through the rest of the questions.
Yes, because I do think that that is an entry point to a lot of the questions, interestingly enough.
Mm,
Even
mm,
starting with the journal, right? It is the self-work that she put into the journal,
mm,
unknown. She's not
mm,
trying to answer all the questions. Sometimes
mm,
it's just about documenting where you are at that moment.
mm,
And the universe, spirit, God, ancestors, Olodumare, fill in the blank, Jesus, whatever it is that you call your understanding of spirit, of the universe, of the divine, it's
mm.
always listening, always hearing, and is very, very in tune with those moments that seem like it seems random, it feels random from the body, but the spirit is sending out a beacon light years.
Mm,
And when that beacon gets put out, it is heard, which is
mm.
how you end up in this space after writing something. And so
This morning.
part of it is that inside outside work. It is doing the
Yeah.
thing from your vantage point right there, feeling it fully and letting it go. As the saying goes, if you love something, let it go. If it returns to you, that's how you know it's for you. And so this
Mm.
returning, Lindela, Lindelwa,
Lindelwa.
Lindelwa. Thank you. I love to challenge myself with the language as well. Um, those are some of the practices I feel glimpses helps me fine tune. Like I was journaling before glimpses. Now
Mm.
my journaling is like, oh no, this is a technology that I can use for various reasons. We are a technology.
Tell it to
And
the trees.
yeah, tell it to the trees.
Yeah. I have some of the questions. It is a technology, as Tyrell is saying. Um, Mashozi's or Mendy's question is, my question goes to Tyrell and the community at large. How do you know when or if you are doing enough in the ancestral journey we're walking in? And at times I want to give up because I feel like I'm not really doing enough, doing anything, but I'm reassured by uNomfundo mostly. Well, you have a
Mm.
community now. I'm not be reassuring by yourself, girl. But how does it feel? How does one feel connected when they are first getting started, and how do you keep going? I can't answer that because I'm already there in her ear all the time. Terrell, that's
Mm.
for you and the collective.
Mm.
Should I repeat it in summary?
It's some of it is in the chat, so I can use that.
Okay.
So starting with the how do you know when or if you're going or doing enough in this ancestral journey we are walking in? Um, as you said that, or as I heard that, I have to remember to breathe because I get so excited and the energy flows through me. Breathe. So let's take a collective breath. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. So there goes part one of the answer, right? This question of how do you know when you're doing enough in this ancestral journey? It's like, oh, this big. When you start with the breath, you now bring it down to the body. If you want, you can go where my mind went when I first heard this question. I like to go down to ant level because they are cool for me to like. You can ruffle up an ant house and just not destroy anything, but just see they rush out and they all are doing their thing to rebuild this structure that's super dynamic. But if we think of ourselves as a little ant, sometimes you get this one little grain of sand. It's big to you, but this one grain, and you move it, dot, and you grab it again, and you move it, dot, and they have to do this over and over and over again. And I would imagine sometimes they feel like they're not doing anything because they can't see from our vantage point, right? So they don't see that there's this mound that they're building that requires every ant that is a part of that process has a specific role. It's not to get the whole mound done by itself. It's also not to feel so useless that it's like, well, my piece of dirt doesn't mean anything, right?
Mm,
It's just to focus right there and right then on protecting the colony, protecting the babies, rebuilding the structure, right? So sometimes the answer is just getting up in the morning, reminding yourself that you can breathe, which is an amazing process that happens in the body. It's more than just inhaling and exhaling. You're having chemical reactions, you're transferring nutrients in and outside the blood. All of that happens within the breath. So just that, you're already doing miraculous things and you haven't lifted a finger. Don't dare and go out in the world and say, "Hey, how you doing? Oh, I like that dress. Oh, you look nice. Man, it's hot, but you know what? At least I could buy some water. Let me get right." All of a sudden, this gratitude, you get to sharing that around the spaces you're in. Now you're doing the same thing that the breath is doing. You're transforming and alchemizing reality literally around you. And so this one ant, this one self is focused on its one grain of sand and it's moving it the best way that it can. And if you need reminder of what it's doing, just look at the community that's around you. You don't randomly have a Namfundo in your life. It might seem like it, but I've come to realize that randomness is just human confusion. It's human trying to understand things. When we let spirit in, randomness becomes an expanded interconnectedness that goes beyond like visibility and all of that. It's like a root system of a tree. You don't see the roots growing. You don't see exactly where they are or what they're doing, but it's a whole network of things happening. So a lot of times what I have found has been going kind of dovetailing into the second part of that question, how does one feel connected when they are first getting started, and how do you keep going on? You feel connected when something happens that you didn't necessarily plan for, like a community slash family member slash loved one says, "Hey, join this event. I think it's time for you to go into this space." And you might be like, what's ah? But it keeps staying in your head. Beep, go back to that space. Beep, you gotta go to this space. And so then you go into the space, even still, not really knowing why, not really feeling and then you're poured into. You're reminded that, oh, you're special. Oh, your question means something. You asking that question sent me all the way back to like my birth to right now from a question, a curiosity. If you think
That
that was
moment.
meaningless, you've missed who you are. And that's part of what this glimpse is. It's a glimpse, right? It's not a full picture. It's a glimpse. It's a little bit
What
of
the fuck?
something. It's a grain of sand that you get to grab and then sit over here. And you'll notice as the ants teach us, if you keep moving your bits of grain, you'll look back and recognize that you've built a monument. It doesn't have to look like Rosa Parks monument or Ptahotep's monument or you know anyone fill in the blank. It's yours. It is specifically yours, and it's important because it blends into the ripple and the fabric of life,
Mm.
all of it. So
Together.
together.
And I'm gonna add, even though I'm the point of contact a lot, every single time I phone, as much as I understand she's my best friend, but every time I phone and there is something happening, she's like, "What did they say to you?" You know what I mean? You know, I want to say to you right now that it is in that moment that you are connected, knowing very well that the reason why I am calling is because there is a message, right?
Mm,
So you might
mm,
not think that you are connected and you're not working into the connection, but the fact that you pick up my phone, Mashozi, and you say, rolling your eyes, what did they say? Oh, did they tell on me again? That's the other one she says, did they
mm,
tell on me again? All of those moments is you. It's not just a social construct or an understanding of the fact that when we are speaking, it's how our life work out. Like that's how life works out for us. But it's that in that very ingrained knowing when you pick up the phone and you say, what did they say? Because when you know the message is not the message, you pick up and you're like, yeah, what do you want?
mm, mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm,
you know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
when it's just like our normal day, she'll pick up and she'll say, yeah, what do you want? On normal days. And then there are days where she knows it's in the connection, in that interconnectiveness of yourself with your ancestors. And when you pick up, baby girl, and you say, what did they say? You're already connected. You already have that Wi-Fi connected to your ancestors. It is so clear, right?
Mm,
You just need to expand that more from our connection
mm-hmm.
because it's not our connection, it's collective consciousness that is working in that moment.
And
I
it's
hope that
so
lands.
important. If I just sprinkle a little added on there, if
Add,
you
add, my
take
brother, add.
if you take yourself out of that story, Mandy, if you remove your entire existence out of that rhythm, the entire chain of events is different.
Hmm.
who knows if Namfundo is even on this call in this moment, holding this space right now, if she didn't have you in the picture saying, what did they say?
Okay, now you
Okay.
make me cry. Okay.
Yes. We
Okay. Oh,
all are needed.
it's all interconnected.
Absolutely.
One of the questions that you got directly, Tyrell, I'm not answering this one, okay, was from Tulsile asking, how was the calling? How did you receive the calling? What was that moment? How did it feel for you?
All right. So, okay. I know immediately, but there's a filtering I explained earlier. Okay.
Yes.
I th- I'll start broad. Many times in the worlds that we engage with most often,
Mm,
we see things in binary. It was
mm-hmm,
this, it was that,
mm,
especially morality, good and bad. Oh, this was good. Oh, this was
mm,
bad. Oh, I almost
mm,
died. Oh, this gave me life. So those binaries just really starts to shrinking possibility and it shrinks growth. It is that doesn't mean that those binaries aren't important because they absolutely have
right.
a role, right? Here goes
Yes.
another binary. We absolutely need to do this or throw it all away. It's no, it's the reminding that it's everything. So in that vein, going smaller now, specifically, for me, the awakening continues to happen. The becoming, the becoming is a it's not a it's not a past tense. It's almost like a future and present tense at the same time. It's like, you're becoming at the moment and it's kind of hinting towards something happening in the future. And so for me, the awakening has been a multitude of things. Some days
Mm,
it's been, oh, take my breath away. Some days it's been, oh, okay. Some days it's been, oh my, did I do that? Right. And so it is all of those things which can make it confusing at first because it
right.
feels like you're just everywhere. You're being pulled around, and Mfundo can attest to this as we've experienced over this last month. There's like this, that, and we talked about yesterday juggling. When we say,
Yes.
man, I'm juggling a lot of stuff, we oftentimes think of that as a negative. Like, I got all these things going on, or we hear from our teachers or family, you're just juggling too many things. You got too many things on your plate. You need to focus and do one thing. Again, it's not binary. It's not focusing on just one thing. It's not having so much stuff that you don't know which way you're going. But juggling is actually balance.
Mm,
Juggling is navigating what you're going to throw up in the air, what's in your hand, and timing it to where you're catching and throwing up at the same time. You're catching something, you're throwing something up. You're catching something, you're throwing something up. And as you're juggling, you're starting off with one thing, just yourself, waking up, making sure you feel good, making sure you're tapping in, like Sister Mandy was helping us understand, making sure we feel like we're important, like we have value.
right.
That's a
Right.
that's a that's a exercise in itself. But you start with that one thing, and that momentum as you're doing it starts to helping you realize that, oh, not only does my voice matter and that I am important and I bring value to life, but I'm also searching for something else too. You know what? I
Mm,
like coloring. I like painting. I like
mm,
walks at the park. I like fill in the blank. And you go out and do those things,
mm.
that creates another layer of awakening because those things start to bring in people in your life that's like, hey,
Right.
oh, you walking down this path too? Okay, cool. Where you from? Oh, I'm from here. And all of a sudden you become friends. If you think about as a kid, a lot of your friendships were just people you were in the same room with or whatever. And it just builds over time. I feel like the awakening is the same thing. It builds over time. Well, not you, but I haven't experienced. I've read about, the Enlightenment, folks feel being enlightened and it being this thing that was it on paper, it was a pre and a post, right? There was this life before enlightenment happened, and then they are a Sadhguru or something. And I believe that is just, or what I've learned from my own walk is that is one of those added examples of human dissecting spirit and trying to understand spirit. And saying all that to say is it's not this happened and now I'm a new person. It's also not this didn't mean nothing and I can't believe I went through this and what does this got to do with anything? It's all of those things together. So that's
The
why awakening,
combination.
yeah, an awakening feels
Yeah.
like excitement, joy, hell, pain, agony, suffering,
Love.
love. It is the multitude of life which makes sense for me. It's supposed to feel like all of the above. Why? Because we are spirit. Spirit is the universe, is everything
Right.
in it. It is the black hole and the sun, not either or.
Thank you so much, Tyrell. And I think in a summary, it is all of it and none of it.
And oh,
It's
yes.
all of it and none of it.
Thank you.
Because it's so complex in its way. Um, I want to add to, no, I don't want to add. One of the other questions that came from Tashana. Also Tunsile, Tashana said you got a beautiful name. Or was it Lindelwa? Bottom line is Tashana said the Zulu names are beautiful. Okay.
I
Put
saw
it
that
out
and I
there.
was blushing all here by myself.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm like, let me just say that. That's how the chat is going. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
You know? So the question that Tashana asked was what is required of them? What is needed? What is required? Am I capturing it? I know I'm summarizing it, Tashana. That's the question, right? What is required? What is needed? What do they need to come with for them to be held? I feel like from my side, yourself, be yourself,
Mm,
become. So from Terrell, what do people need to come? How do people need to show up for them to be in the space? Jeez.
mm. Um, the main thing is vulnerability. And that I'm
Mm.
hesitant to say it because it's hard to be vulnerable
Woo!
because of we see what happens when you're vulnerable on social media. We see what happens when you're vulnerable in some of your fearing groups. We see so vulnerability can sometimes be something you regret that you did, right?
Mm.
But this space, I will say from experience, is the space where you get to practice that aspect of it. It is it
Mm.
is it is the front door to fully recognizing all that you are, which is really what this whole space is. It is for
Mm.
you. And as I'm love the camera because as I'm doing this, I see it pointing back at myself, right?
Konde wena, ikuwena lento.
All of us. It's a circle.
Mm.
Which point of the circle is the most important? Which
Mm.
part of the circle does the circle bring to the other shapes? Itself. That's all that where a triangle can bring a tip in,
A
a
point.
square can bring us right. A circle, the only thing a circle can bring is the circle.
Mhm.
A half of a circle is not a circle. It's something else. So that is what is the loudest for me to bring is the vulnerability. Sometimes that looks like turning your camera on.
Mm.
Sometimes that looks like speaking up.
Mm.
Sometimes, as I have learned, it's about being quiet because I don't mind speaking, but being quiet is
Tashana,
vulnerable
did
for
you hear
me.
that? He said he doesn't mind. Yeah,
So
so
just like with the awakening question, the requirement and I don't even like the word requirement because that brings force.
the
I want to
ask,
bring
the
more of a
ask.
power. The
Mm,
power to bring is the vulnerability because the reason why that is such a valuable part of who we are is because that's where the gold is. That's
mm,
where the gold is. When we are able to be
mm,
vulnerable in something,
mm-hmm.
magic happens. Not magic, supernatural things occur. Alchemy occurs. So bring your gold
Question.
with you and dare to share it with others. And just really, really absorb the fact that you're around others who are bringing their gold as well. And whenever gold comes in contact with itself, it amplifies its movement. And y'all, I've never said that in my whole life, so I'm thankful for this question because I didn't know that either. I digress. Yes, bring your vulnerability. Bring it
Thank you.
and dare to see what happens when you are that.
Dare to dream, dear
Dare to
dreamers.
dream. Yeah.
you know. And
I
there's a
hope that
reason
answers your
why
question.
when I speak to the circle, I say, dear dreamers.
Mhm. Yeah.
Dear beautiful dreamers and healers. There is,
Yeah.
and we'll probably discuss it on the first day when we do the circle.
Hmm.
Um, Bilinge's grandfather's namesake,
Mm.
his question is, how do people who are elementary in the healing space understand what glimpses at dawn it's all about in layman's terms. And if you can have a one-liner as the glimpses of dawn is, yo, Bilinge, unenhliziyo embi kahle kahle. I'm kidding you not. That's a hard one. I'm like, how do you explain this? Tyrell, you'll go first, and then while you go, I'll think.
Ooh, good. A
We have to
one
close
liner.
up in the next by in the next 10 minutes, we have to close up. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So we've got 10
The
minutes to close up.
a one liner to describe glimpses. Glimpses is a safe space to strengthen your spiritual gifts. You might not be a healer, and that's okay. You might be an agitator, someone that is able to go into a space and hey, what's this? Why y'all ain't doing da, da, da," and organize. You may be a decision maker. Oh, I love that. I
Mm,
love that your ancestor is teaching us at this moment that yes, we do get to decide what death is.
mm,
Yeah. Is it the
mm.
end or is it a transition to something else? I digress.
Because that man decided, that man literally decided.
With his
That man
chest,
said, put those herbs, I'm out of here.
yes, I'm dipping
You know what I'm trying to say? He said, I am
somewhere.
transitioning, and there is a
Yes,
way that I'm transitioning. So put those herbs. I'm out of this world because I'm done in this flesh.
yes,
I no
yes.
longer, those who come after me, right? Because the namesakes are
Mm,
important to those who have transitioned, right?
hmm
He said
hmm
to you, Bilinge, right?
mm,
It is your time to decide. And
mm,
I know you personally. And the way this man makes decisions, it's black and white. And in the gray, he'll take time to decide in the gray and be like, okay, cool.
mm.
Now it's black and white.
Wow.
So anyway,
Yes, that is a
in that,
power. That is a
you
spiritual gift because many
you
of
know,
us sit in the in between of I don't know and should I and I wonder if we never get to the power of decision making. And in decision making is an ownership of what happens after. Many
100%.
people are so afraid of failure that they don't even attempt.
I
So
get,
to
I feel
go
like you're being
beyond
gaslighted.
failure and choose man, ultra powerful. So that's, I think, a one-liner to that's a million lines to
That was a
describe
million
what.
lines. Poor Bentley being like, I asked you guys for one line, and like he's like giving so many lines. This is my one
Glimpses,
liner. Okay, sorry. Okay,
Glimpses is
go.
a
He
spiritual
said he
boot
could
camp.
talk.
You said what?
His wife
He
saying
he
he said
he,
he could
he said
talk.
he could
Did
talk,
anybody hear that?
y'all. He can talk, y'all.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, let me add my one liner. Let me add my one liner, right? Glimpses is breath.
Yes.
That's my one
Mm,
liner. Glimpses is
mm,
breath. Okay. It's a place where we come to breathe. The world is burning, you know. The
mm,
space was started. I've had personal conversations with many of you guys, so you know how the journey has been. But in the crux of it, it was a breath from the life that is burning out there. So this is breath. Glimpses held at dawn is a breath.
mm,
Breath that you choose for yourself, a breath that ecology allows you to take, a breath that community helps you take. It is a breath.
mm.
Okay. That's
Love that.
Tashana, did I do justice to his talking? Okay, I feel like there's a question that we missed.
Yes,
If there's anybody's
kinesis.
question that we missed,
We miss
please,
kinesis.
Kainis's question. What was Kainis's question again?
She mentioned, I think it was for me, she asked about masculinity.
Yeah, she said, how are you holding or standing in your masculinity as you show up in the space?
Awesome.
Something like that.
I can, yeah, I can definitely be brief with this, but also still do my thing of being deep.
We have 5 more minutes, of which
Okay.
I still need to close.
Okay, got it. Uh, okay, so for me, masculinity is like building muscle. It's like, even in men's body, when we build muscle, you can kind of see it. Not that women you can't, but it's this like this power thing. And if you only build your muscle up and you get real, real, real strong, your muscles don't have any flexibility. And so you can't even like blow your nose because your biceps are so big, right? So that's how masculinity looks outside of the femininity to balance it. And so this space taught me that the vulnerability and the openness and the things that are oftentimes associated with femininity, nurturing, holding of space, and those kind of things strengthened my masculinity and strengthened my ability to show up as the masculine self in my family, which, as you can do the math, I'm outnumbered 3-1 with feminine, so energy to quote unquote masculine energy. So we get to practice that in real time in this space, what the balance actually looks like and how it benefits the wholeness of who we are. That's what it's done for me, for sure.
And is that how you're going to be showing up also in this space? Because I feel like that's also what she was asking. So
Got it.
this is how the glimpses also as the first glimpses that you attended showed up, help you
Mhm.
show up. Is this how
Mhm.
you are hoping to show up also? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Within the
Absolutely.
balance.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That is appreciated. I think that I'm gonna say it now that our glimpses starts at 5:15, right? And the idea is for it to end at 6:15 South
Mm.
African time, right? But in this moment, I am holding an extra 15 minutes and saying we might end at 6:30, okay? I'm doing the declaration now, right? Tyrell?
Yeah.
Using your wife's words, so all I'm asking is that expansiveness for the day. Thank you so
Mm.
much for everybody who joined us today. We have the
Yes.
WhatsApp group that is set up. That group will hold you throughout the next days. Utilize it for asking questions, utilize it for allowing yourself to immerse yourself into the journey. Excuse me, my course. I'll be utilizing it from giving you guys information. We have the co-founder of our NPO in the group, which is Jacqueline Cole. We have Kanyisa, who is our spiritual guide when it comes to the navigation of the social constructs. You have myself, which is the grounding place of glimpses and the custodian. We have Tyrell, which is the co-holder of the space. And you have yourselves and as individual healers who are also in their own journey. So please understand that space is there for you to interact in a way that feels grounded. If you have questions, if you have dreams that come up, if you have anything that sparks you, utilize that group. Sometimes you're not going to get an answer directly from us, and we'll come back to you. But it's okay for you to utilize that group, right? And we are so excited to have you guys there. Thank you so much, Tyrell, for heeding the call and saying, I am willing to be the first to take this journey with glimpses and holding me also as a vessel, as uNomfundo, as ikhanda leHlozi lami. And thank you for everybody. Mashozi, your vulnerability today was so appreciated. Kanyisa, your holding is always, always, always soft. Billy, you are a spark of light in so much that I get to experience in this world. And thank you so much for showing up in the space. And Tashana, thank you for so much for being such a grounding voice and also just reminding us who your husband is in such a beautiful way, in a soft way, and also just being in the space with us right now, showing us another part of who Tyrell is. And to my co-holder, my space holder, our co-holder, our space holder, Tyrell, my brother, thank you so much for heeding the call. I cannot wait to see you guys soon again. The recording is going to be online. Igama lam, uNomfundo wakwaZama, umkabayi kaGcuca, and all I have is love. And Brother Tyrell, do you want to say your goodbyes before we
Yes,
close?
thank you. Thank you to everyone. And please know that this is where the quote unquote steel sharpens steel concept really happens. Everyone here has donated and contributed to my own spiritual growth, my own awakening. And so never feel that somehow someone is speaking to you down here. No, we're here sharing info and both getting stronger and more confident and enlightening ourselves through this movement, through this exchange of energy. Deep breath in, deep breath out as we continue to grow together. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Siyabonga kakhulu, 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 kakhulu. I'm gonna end the meeting because I do also want to be able to send it to people online. Emakhosi namakhulu amadala, ngiyabonga, and till the next time when we see each other. And then Tyrell, I'll just give you a call, manje manje.
Okay, Ashe.
Bye, guys.